the whole of yesterday were suspects, not knowing whether the election would take place or not take place. Later we heard they said, oh, they're going to go ahead with it, we should go and get ready. We tried to call our people, but there's no word from them. And then somebody told us, look, the little money that you have, better be careful, because if you disburse your money now, this election does not take place, then you are finished. You are not in government, the money you got it through donations. So if you begin to spend it now, thinking that election will take place, and it doesn't take place, then you should have played it on your hands. It's still better to wait. No matter in the evening, some of your colleagues came, they came from the British High Commission, they came from the European Union, and they were trying to tell us that, look, I think the election is cancelled. That, you know, we should be prepared. And prepared for what? You know, we're at a loss. We don't even know when there will be elections. INEC has not called us back since Wednesday. An election is supposed to take place on Saturday. No word from them. We are at a complete loss about what is happening. And from our own inquiries, the decision to even make that advice about security breach was not from Edo State. The president visited the state on Tuesday. He didn't come for any emergency situation, he came for a campaign. There was no way the president would have come here if Edo had security threats. You know, the president came here on campaign on Tuesday. We had a meeting on Wednesday, so it's shocking that on Wednesday, security agencies will say that elections cannot, elections should not be done in Edo because it's not safe, it's not safe. When the president visited here on Tuesday. But you see, the truth about it is that these people have conducted a series of opinion polls. And everywhere they have gone to, it was clear to them. And if they do the election today, they will lose the election. That is the truth. And it was on that basis that they were advised to see how they could stall for time and see what can be done. The sensitive materials, I believe, it's not impossible for them to have access to it. Normally, they could wait till some days to the election before bringing the materials, so nobody gets access to them. But now the materials are here and they're not being used, which means that people can be bribed and they can have access to these materials. Number two, the officials to do the election. You normally tell the parties some few days before the election, so nobody will go and compromise them. Now you have disclosed their names, and for the next 2-3 weeks, no election will be done. So basically, you have created enough space for those who will attempt to manipulate this election. You know, there was no security breach. There is nothing. You know, there was no basis to ask for postponement, apart from the fact that the party in government were jittery, they knew they would not win, and they needed to postpone it so that they can try anything desperate that they can do.
There were 2 meetings on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
You did the peace pact,
yes.
The Triple S head was there.
Yes.
And later you said he did not come back?
No, they didn't come back.
What do you think happened on Triple S?
Well, I just believe that they were advised not to come. You know, since their superiors have told them they couldn't do the election, they called them to say they don't attend the meeting anymore. So they withdrew from the meeting.
But the election was called off. I mean, the security threat was mentioned at the second meeting?
Yes, at the second meeting.
So something happened on Wednesday?
Yes, that meeting around 12. It ended around 2-3. And the security chiefs were there. Nobody mentioned anything about security threat. The Commissioner of Police was there. The AIG, Assistant General of Police in charge of this zone, was there. The Deputy General of Police Operations was there. And they told us everything was ready. All they needed was for us to sign a peace pact that the election will be peaceful, which we did. Nobody mentioned any security problem. Even the INEC had no clue about that. Only for us to leave the meeting. And on TV, on television, we saw breaking news from Abuja that the SSS and the police have advised INEC to move the election. And then in the evening, they called us back to say, please come back by 5 o'clock. We went back by 5, but this time, Commissioner of Police was not there. The AIG was not there. The DIG was not there. The SSS were not there. They had all withdrawn, leaving only the INEC officials. And you could see that they were very embarrassed. So they were confused. So clearly, it's a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy to deprive people from voting when they should vote. It's meant to create apathy. It's meant to bring fear, because if you talk about security challenges, you are indirectly telling people don't come out to vote. So it's a deliberate ploy to discourage voters from coming out. Because security agents begin to say that they cannot guarantee people's safety. In spite of the fact that this is an isolated election. It's not all over the country, just one place, Edo State. And the police are promised they're going to bring about 25,000 police officers. How can the state police now say that they cannot guarantee the security of voters? So it's another way of saying, on election day, we want to advise you to stay at home. You know, it will not turn out because there are security threats.
I want to ask a follow-up question to that. So you said, police said they would not be able to guarantee the security of voters.
Yes.
But, you know, we talked to several members of the diplomatic community and the Edo community who said they saw convoys, hundreds of, personnel, hundreds of vehicles coming out to support the Edo election, even after the security forces said they would not be able to support. Is there any truth to that? Were there actually security assets here?
They were coming.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them had gotten here when they were told to turn back.
Okay.
They were coming here already. We are aware that they were coming. And you can imagine the millions wasted at a time when we are saying we don't have money. They had mobilized them, they were coming in from different parts of the country, only to get that they should not turn back. In their security threats, they should be here, but they were told to leave and go back to their base. So you can see that clearly there was a conspiracy. People were coming here to secure elections, and in event, if there's even a threat to peace, they should be here, but they were told to go back. From what I learned, the president gave the INEC chair and the go-ahead to do the elections. He gave him the go-ahead. But the security chiefs, for reasons best known to them, insisted that people's safety could not be guaranteed. You know, we are wondering what is happening. If you are envisaging security problems on Saturday, why are you telling policemen to go back? Who would have helped to secure the state? Why are you telling them to leave? So clearly, certain persons do not want elections to take place now. But it's inevitable. Elections must take place because the terminal date when the president governor was disengaged is November 12th. A new governor must be sworn in November 12th.
What's the tenure limit?
Yes.
Okay.
And if not that the Electoral Act was amended, the law stipulates that INEC must do elections not later than 60 days. You know? So ideally, the last time they should have been able to conduct elections would have been September 12th. But they've amended it to say that they have 30 days, which means the latest time they cannot do it is October 12th. Now, October 12th is still not too far away. Now, if you could not do elections September 10th, but September 17th, why do you have to go to the 28th?
No, Wednesday.
I'm asking.
Well, no, I mean...
Why do you have to go to the 28th? And why must you use a weekday when you have weekends? The truth about it is that Edo people are all over the country. But they are Edo people. They registered here. Many of them came home yesterday and today with the intention of voting tomorrow and then going back on Sunday. So the moment you put it on a weekday Wednesday, you have disenfranchised them. You have made it impossible for them to leave their places of work. Because it will mean leaving on a Tuesday and returning back on Thursday. So it will not be very difficult for them to get 3 days off. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So everything is programmed to discourage as many people as possible from coming to vote. And when people don't come and vote, rigging is easy. People are able to manipulate the elections when the turnout is low. When there's nobody there, the right results. But when the turnout is high, it's almost impossible. So clearly, there is an attempt by government. In case, I'm sure you might be aware, they've been buying voters' cards in this state. Deliberately to disenfranchise as many people as possible because they have done their opinion poll. Everywhere they go, like the government might be boastful, but the reality is that Edo people are tired. All the money that came to this state, there's nothing to show for it. It's all propaganda. The state is in a mess. There are no industries, no agricultural policy, nothing. And people just say, look, enough is enough. You've tried it for 8 years, you need to go. You can't even bring somebody. And they are so desperate. They are so desperate. He fears that, oh, if pastor comes in, he's going to look at the books. If pastor comes in, I'll be exposed. You know, so anything to stop him. It's not they've not tried.
At the same time, though, I mean, you mentioned the conspiracy idea. If it's a conspiracy, it seems to be a pretty, not a very well executed one. I mean, the lack of coordination, there seems to have been incredible confusion in the last few days that was not staged. Do you think that there really was confusion, or do you think that this was all kind of part of an elaborate scheme?
It's a plan B. It's a plan B.
What was plan A?
Plan A was we will try to manipulate the elections, we will buy the voters, and we'll have our way. That was plan A.
Why didn't plan A work?
You know, because of the opinion polls they conducted. They conducted a series of opinion polls, and the fact is that nothing has changed. You know, so the plan B is that in that case, shift the election until we look for a way to penetrate INEC, you know, get access to the result sheets, and then see how many INEC staff can compromise. That's the truth.
So let me get this straight. So
it's impossible. It's impossible. My only fear is that these actions are also calculated to create voters' apathy. They are calculated to bring fear to the minds of those who do not want to hear about violence. A lot of people normally do not vote in our state, but for the first time, they are saying they want to go and cast their vote. There are a lot of people who have never voted who want to come out. And they are trying to discourage them by creating the impression that the likelihood of violence is very real. That even the security agencies are aware. So it will be advisable for you to remain at home. It's not said, but it's implied. You see, for those who believe they can't win, for them, if the election does not take place, very good. You know, but we are very concerned about it. And that's why we are wondering, why will INEC leave it so close? 30 days is the maximum. Just 30 days to swear it in. You've not created room for supplementary elections, for inconclusive elections, you know, nothing like that. And you have left it now till almost the last. So if on the 28th something goes wrong, then it means that you don't want the election to take place. So ideally, even if we are going to postpone from 10th, one would have thought that they will look at the nearest weekend. What stops them from doing on the 17th? And one would have also thought that Hamu called us before to discuss with us. He chooses a new date. He will also call us and tell us that, well, we have some problems, but we have thought about how to resolve it and want to figure out a new date. If they had told us 28, we would have said, 28 is too far.
Who chose the new date?
Huh?
How did INEC choose the new date?
We had it on TV.
INEC just announced it.
We had it on TV. Maybe security agencies gave it because clearly INEC is no longer on the driving seat.
Who's in the driving seat?
I don't know. But I'm telling you, it's discussed with him and the man told us categorically that he doesn't know what to do. But he's supposed to be in charge. He's supposed to fix it. So clearly, INEC is no longer independent. It's now National Electoral Commission. Remove the Independent Electoral Commission. The eye has been removed. I had a meeting with national editors of newspapers as far back as a month ago. And I told them, quote me, I told them that I'm aware of a plan B to postpone the election in the event that they are not sure of themselves. I told them, they should please insist the election must hold, because there are people who are saying, if we believe it, this thing will not work. Let's postpone it. It has played out.
Come out and express their preference. And our British colleague who you met the other day, actually, I like his perspective, and that's that now that the election has been postponed, Edo has perhaps more attention and scrutiny from the observer community and from the international community than before. And so in this case, perhaps that's a good thing. We're all watching very closely to see how this plays out.
We're with the people of Edo, and we'll be back.
Thank you. That's very reassuring. Your presence would help to bring some level of credibility to the process. I'll give you copies of my...
Thank you. Thank you.
With my simple agenda, there is something here.
Agenda, does it have the election date?